Hi, my name is Konstantin Magnus. In this Houdini tutorial, we are going to optimize a shortest path network. So we get a transition from an individual search for each endpoint to a more optimized result, which is reusing branches. Let's create a new scene and set up a geometry container. Inside, I want to use a planar patch, which is easier for debugging than a three-dimensional structure. Disable the patch name, make the size bigger and switch it to circle, and reduce its edge length to 0.02 for a more dense result. I will append a null node and call it base mesh, so we can later on switch the base geometry more easily and replace it by a three-dimensional mesh, for example. I want to add a separate set of points to define start and end points. Let's put down a point and move it down by -1. I will group it in a point group called start and call the node accordingly. Let's take a copy and call it group_end and create some clusters by using the attribute randomize node. I can set up some points, call the attribute name P, and visualize the random values as points. I would like to place them inside a sphere and remove one dimension so they are all sitting on a disk. We'll just use, or let's rather bring in a bias as well towards the top. So let's switch the direction to 010 and give it a bit of bias. I would like to reduce the number of points to, let's say, 12. Play with the random seed if you like. And then we are going to replicate those points to create clusters. The point replicate node creates, let's say, 20 more points for each input point inside a circle. And when you play with the uniform scale, it becomes more obvious what it does. Let's input this into the group end node and actually call the group end. So now we can merge both end groups together and put them into a null node as well. We're going to call this point_cloud. And now make the base mesh and the point cloud interact using a find shortest path node, which connects its second input to the point cloud. All we have to do is put in the start and end group names inside their corresponding string parameters, and now it will output the first connection. This is the closest path from the start point to one of the endpoints. To make them connect all, we have to switch from each start to any end to each end. And now we get that typical result, which is finding individual paths to the endpoints, and we would like to optimize that. We can do so by using the output and input attribute options of the find shortest path node. You can, for example, see here that it outputs the original point on the base mesh it has used. So when you look at the paths, it has an info about which base mesh point it was using. And we define the importance of each base mesh point by the number of times it has been used. You can see what I mean by using the exploded view. So here you can tell that lots of paths are using the same base mesh points, and this we can count. So let's just take the base mesh, append an attribute wrangle, and ask the output paths how many times they have used the same points. I'll define an integer called count and use the find attribute val count function on my second input stream inside the point class and ask for the occurrence of the orange PT based on my base mesh point number. I can output that just to check this quickly as an integer attribute called count, and then we'll see here several points have been used 240 times while others have not been used at all. Now instead of an integer, I would prefer to have a float attribute called weight, which I cast to a float based on the count. I'll call the attribute wrangle weight and normalize it using a attribute normalize float. Let's color code this to get a better understanding of what is going on here. We'll put this into a ramp and set it to infrared. So you can see the strongest points that are the most useful or most used by those paths. And we can even remap this output by inverting the output range. You'll see that we now can actually affect the way this base match gets weighted. I'll use a B-spline interpolation for that, and now we can play with whether our network should be rather sparse or rather dense. I'll leave it here for now. And now all we have to do is make the find shortest path node listen to that weight. So let's output the point cost attribute. This is an input, and we call it weight. Now it rightfully claims that it doesn't have any weight to get started, so we will initialize one. I'll put a f at weight to 1.0, so all base mesh points are worth the same, which doesn't change the result, but this is about to change once we loop over the find shortest path node and update the weight with each iteration. So let's use a for loop and put in these three nodes, the find shortest path node, the weight update, and the normalization, and then put this into the color node. So what you get is a tree-like structure, which we can change by remapping with a different remapping curve. And we can also set the output range to something higher, like 2 or 5 or whatever you prefer. I'll leave it to 1 for now, and now we're simply grabbing a copy of the find shortest path node, connect it to the output of the loop, and that would be our tree. If you move this curve down, you get a more shrub-like structure. If you move it up, you get a more maybe tree-like structure. And if you increase the output, this may also have an effect. If you want to get back to the more feathery structure, you can also consider implementing a blur node in between. So the attribute blur set to weight will also change the output. So you can see that way we have more branches running in parallel directions as opposed to keeping the iterations low. I would also advise to change the mode from Laplacian to volume preserving. I found the results to be more natural. Now, the usual steps after playing with the network creation would be to remove double points and double curves. So at the moment, you can tell that we have lots of points running on top of each other. If you zoom in, you will see the markers to be on top of each other. So let's use a fuse node to remove double points, and also a a polypath node to remove double curves. After that, it's safe to resample the network by treating the polygon curves as subdivision curves and setting the length down to 0.01. That would be our simple optimization of the shortest path node to get more efficient networks. Thank you for watching.